Every web hosting review video I've come across is subjective. I'm sick of people reviewing website hosting companies with barely any data to back up their claims. There are hundreds of website hosts and equally as many opinions on which one is best. I plan on giving you what everyone else is neglecting, cold hard facts. Using an algorithmic approach as well as software testing tools, we're going to get to the bottom of what really is the best web hosting for WordPress. It's nearly impossible to test every web host available, so I've decided to limit this experiment to 7 of the most popular website hosting companies used for WordPress. These hosting companies are Bluehost, Godaddy, Hostgator, Inmotion, Siteground, Dreamhost, and A2 Hosting. I set out to rank each hosting company by 8 different characteristics that matter the most to the average website owner. We'll rank these hosting companies by website speed, customer support, server uptime percentage, pricing plans, knowledge base, features, freebies, and deals/coupons available. I believe most people looking for hosting providers will only need a shared plan if they are the average blogger or site owner. We'll place all of these variables in a master chart to make reading the data as easy as possible. We'll dig into the method for measuring each one of our hosting metrics, but I won't be directly showing all of the raw data. If you'd like to see the raw data from these results, the link is in the description below. Lastly, before we jump into testing, I'd like to go on record that there's definitely flaws in my testing methods. If you think there is some way I could have improved these, please let me know in the comments as I'm open to suggestions. Also, make sure to show me some love by clicking the thumbs up if you end up gaining value from this video approach. Attention spans online are much shorter than you can imagine. Site abandonment is the biggest issue concerning a slow loading website. As you can see, a website loses a significant portion of traffic the slower it loads. Beyond site abandonment reasons, a slow loading website can also negatively affect your rankings in search engines, limiting the amount of traffic to your site altogether. There are several reasons why a website could be slow, but hosting is one of the biggest culprits. This is why your web hosting server response times are an essential metric to understand. My server speed scores take into account both of these metrics. The host with the fastest speed and handles the most amount of users at once is given 3 points and color-coded gold. Second place is silver and receives 2 points. Third place receives 1 point and is colored bronze while the rest get no points. For this test, I created a simple WordPress website using the default 2017 WordPress theme. The website has a total of 5 pages, internal and external links, images, and various sized headings. The only plugin active on the site is the default WordPress plugin AskMet. I then use a super sweet tool called Load Impact to measure 5 different samples of site performance on various days and times. I ran tests in the mornings at 7:30 a.m., in the afternoons at 1 p.m., and at night at 6:30 p.m. Load Impact allows you to progressively send virtual users, which are just bots, to your website to test performance with different volumes of site traffic. For these tests, I had Load Impact send up to 50 virtual users to my site in a span of 5 minutes. This means by around the 4-minute mark, I had a total of 50 active users perusing my test domain. Load Impact displays a ton of metrics, but I'm mostly concerned with the general load times and user limits. I'm defining the user limit by the point at which the load speeds of the site become irregular and greater than 4 seconds. So what is the fastest web hosting available? Technically Godaddy, but this company couldn't match the user limits of Dreamhost, which consistently produced loading speeds of around 0.4932 seconds and easily could handle 50 users without seeing any significant difference in load speeds. Second place is Siteground with an average minimum load speed of 0.6488 seconds and an average user limit of 46.8 virtual users. Third place is Godaddy with an average site load speed of 0.3464 seconds, which was amazingly fast, but the defining factor in this ranking is the fact that these times were largely disrupted after 32 users. Navigating through all the features and capabilities of your web host is not always straightforward and oftentimes requires technical support. It's essential to choose a hosting provider that has an A-grade customer support team, especially when you're new or non-technical. For this test, I created 3 different variations of support tickets and submitted these on 6 different days, twice in the mornings, noontime, and afternoons. I recorded both the date and time that I submitted the ticket as well as the date and time of their response. Understandably, this is only measuring the speed to answer a question and doesn't take into account the quality of their support. To at least touch on quality, I've given each hosting company a subjective rating based on how fast and easy my questions were answered after first contact. The 3 companies with the highest quality responses get an additional point added to their scores despite how well they performed on speed. The clear winner with an average support reply of 0.13 hours and receiving 3 points is Siteground. This host also receives an additional point due to their support team giving high quality, patient and thoughtful replies. In second place with an average support reply time of 0.79 hours and receiving 2 points is Godaddy. Third place with a 1.68 hours for an average time to reply and receiving 1 point is Inmotion, whom also receives an additional point for quality. A2 hosting support times weren't fast enough to break into the top 3, but were of great quality, so they've received the final 1 point bonus. Uptime refers to the percentage of time that your hosting service is working properly and serving up your website to users. For obvious reasons, this is super important when trying to determine the best web host. In order to test server uptime for each host, I used Pingdom's trial account server uptime tool. The trial account lasted 14 days, so my data is limited to that time span. I'm interested in seeing what the total percentage of uptime is as well as the average time the servers are down. The results for this test weren't as differentiated as I'd hoped for, as most of the companies had flawless uptime percentages. The 4 companies with perfect uptime percentage over the span of 14 days were Hostgator, Siteground, Bluehost, and Dreamhost. The data shows that A2 also has 100% uptime, but this is rounded since they also have an average downtime of 2 minutes. For this reason, A2 ranks second for this test. Inmotion ranks third with 99.99% uptime and an average downtime of 3 minutes. Lastly, Godaddy ranks last with 99.99% uptime and an average downtime of 4 minutes. Once again, this was over a short span of time, so these results don't have quite the weight as I had originally hoped for. Ideally, a test like this would be averaged over the course of several months or even a year. Your hosting plays an important part in the overall success of your website, so I don't recommend making a decision solely on the basis of pricing. However, web hosting is fairly expensive and nobody wants to pay more than they have to. I've gathered each company's pricing plans to understand who is providing the most value for the best price. Let's briefly go over the difference between the terms shared, VPS, and dedicated servers. You can think of a shared hosting plan as an apartment complex. People leasing out apartments have some of their own space but share lots of common living area with many of their neighbors. For this reason, you may have to put up with loud neighbors and have no control over what they are doing in their own spaces. Related to servers, this means you are sharing bandwidth with multiple other tenants, which can create slower server response times. A virtual private server, VPS, is more like a duplex, where you have your own space and entrance, but you still don't have full control over your neighbor's space. You have much more freedom than on a shared plan, but your server performance is still affected by your neighbors. Lastly, there's a dedicated server, which is much like having your own home. You can build the home the way you want, where you want, and have full control over who's coming in and out of your building. I suggest sticking with the shared hosting plan early on and upgrade later as your website scales to higher user levels. As mentioned earlier, this data is only for the second tier pricing packages for shared hosting plans. If you're looking for cheap web hosting, then A2 hosting would be it, at $4.90 per month USD when you buy 24 months of hosting. In second place is Godaddy which you can buy for $4.99 per month at its lowest price, but only when you buy 36 months of hosting. Third place is Siteground, which costs $5.95 per month for 36 months of hosting. Siteground is consistently $5.95 no matter how much you buy at once, so it is cheaper than Hostgator and Bluehost with the 12-month package, and this is why it wins third place despite costing the same for the 36-month package deal. Also, I gave 0.5 bonus points to the hosts that offer a full range of pricing from 36-month deals all the way down to monthly subscriptions, as this gives flexibility for users who don't want to spend a large upfront payment. It's important to note that most of these discounted prices raise back up to the normal price once you renew your plan. However, you can ask these hosts for a loyal customer discount on your renewal subscription to get the price lowered. I'd also like to add that hosting prices are consistently changing, so these prices may not be up to date when you're watching this. Similar to customer support, it's important to choose a host that has a wide selection of help articles and videos along with an active community of users for you to learn from. I looked for active forums, a host YouTube channel, and helpful articles on how to use and improve the hosting service. For active forums, I gathered total number of threads, posts, and members. For their YouTube channels, I took note of the total number of videos as well as subscribers. Lastly, we noted a total number of help articles on each site. Keep in mind, some of these numbers are estimates since getting the actual values in some situations were either impractical or impossible. The active forums section of the knowledge base test is scored entirely on the total amount of threads, posts, and members associated with that forum. The order from first to third place in this category is Hostgator, Dreamhost, and Godaddy. I attempt to measure both amount of resources and quality of those resources in the YouTube section of this test by giving scores for the total number of videos and a number of subscribers to number of videos ratio. These scores are independent of one another and average to get a final result. Lastly, the hosts were scored on their total number of articles and help section of their website. To sum up the entire test, I averaged the 3 scores mentioned above to get one final score for knowledge base and community. First place with 2.7 points is Hostgator, second place with 1.7 points is Godaddy, and third place with 1 point is Dreamhost. Generally, there's tons of features and tools that a hosting service will provide for its users to aid in the creation and management of websites, databases, and applications. I've listed 20 major features that most website owners care about in their hosting provider plans. I won't go through all of the results for these for the sake of time, but I will say that the top 3 hosting providers pretty much offered all the same features. The web host that offered the most features was Siteground, which squeaked in the win with a free caching plugin called Super Cacher, which you can use to speed up your website, as well as a free CDN which can be used to speed up your website and increase security. Second place is a tie between A2 Hosting and GoDaddy, since they nearly offer the same features. A2 has a money back anytime policy, which is crazy awesome, while GoDaddy's control panel is more intuitive in my opinion. Third place is Dreamhost, which beats out the other hosts due to providing a free SSL and having a long 97-day money-back guarantee. Who doesn't want free things? Many web hosting companies give away free domains, SSLs, advertising credits, plugins, and plenty of other features that set their brand apart from other companies. If you play your cards right, you can find a website host that gives you hundreds of dollars in free value just for signing up with them. That is why I compiled a list of the various freebies each host provides, as well as the estimated value you'd be getting for free when signing up with them. Each host was ranked by the total estimated value of the freebies offered. Bluehost ranks number 1 for the value of their freebies comes out to $400. Second place is Siteground, which provides around $350 worth of mostly free discounts for plugins, themes, and software. Third place is Dreamhost, that gives out $309 in value to their users. Make sure to check out the link to the raw data for all of these tests after this video by looking in the description section below. it's worth it to see if there are any coupon codes floating around on the net for you to take advantage of. There are a lot of sites that claim they have discounts or coupon codes for certain hosts, but I find most of these are not actually discounted prices. The only real coupons and discounts I found were for Hostgator and Siteground. Hostgator has a coupon making your first month with them practically free, 1 penny deal, while Siteground has a student deal that brings their monthly cost down to $1.99 a month if you are a student at any level. This deal is absolutely insane, and I would take full advantage of it if I were a student still. I placed information for the Hostgator coupon and Sitegator discount in the description below. I also will place a 1.15 multiplier on the load speed and customer support categories, as these are some of the more important features the majority of people starting a website are looking for. I'll also place a 0.5 multiplier on the deal/coupon section, as this should play a smaller part in a decision of what host to choose. Now, here's the part you've all been waiting for. I thought about putting these results at the beginning of the video, but figured I'd tease you for as long as possible. So what are the top 3 best web hosting companies out of the 7 we have tested? The top web hosting company that significantly outranked the competition by about 7 points is none other than Siteground Hosting. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of Siteground Hosting. Siteground delivers exceptional website loading speeds and user limits. Their customer support is blazingly fast and of high quality. Their uptime was perfect. They're an affordable option for people not looking to spend a fortune. They load their customers up with tons of features like unlimited domains, SSD storage, free domain, free SSL, free caching plugin, one-click installs of all the major content management systems and frameworks, a free CDN, language support, and an e-commerce solution called PrestaShop. Siteground gives their users around $350 in free discounts for themes, plugins, and other tools. And on top of all that, if you're a student, you can get hosting for $199 a month, which is absolutely mind-boggling. The second place hosting company, and actually quite surprising to me, is Godaddy. Godaddy has blazing fast server speeds up to a certain amount of users on a site at one time. They offer speedy customer support, super cheap pricing, an extensive knowledge base and community, and a plethora of features. Lastly, in third place, we have Dreamhost, which has a super fast and stable server with a decent amount of freebies, features, and knowledge base. I want to state one more time that these tests are most definitely imperfect. There are major hosting companies I may not have taken into account. Some of my metrics may not capture what people fully care about, and my ranking systems may not be the way you would have chosen to do it. But with all this being said, it's cool to finally put some numbers behind these, no matter how imperfect they may be. That's it for the video, everyone. I really hope you all got massive value from this and enjoyed the analytical approach. I'd love to hear any of your comments on improvements you would make to enhance this study. Make sure to hit the thumbs up below this video to show me some love. All the resources discussed in the video are nicely organized in the description section of this video, so don't forget to check those out. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see in-depth tutorials and how-to videos on internet marketing and automation. With that being said, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.